Oh shit. Well, uh, oh boy.
How would you know that's what a monster looks like?
Hey guys, it's Lastbrohican here, and welcome back to Game Gamut, our little Let's Play episodes of Banished. In this one, we are going to really try to expand and branch out more of the town, probably get a trade post going for ourselves, find some better alternatives to get food. I kind of already played a little bit more just to get ourselves a little bit more grounded, just because getting the ball rolling in Banished can take some time and isn't that exciting. I also decided to take out the webcam because I'm not like, there's no like scary things popping out at us anytime, and I'm not doing anything on my end that's so crazy that you need to see the animations on my face. While I'd be very flattered if you guys would like that. We're just gonna keep playing as is, just like a regular LP. So let's get underway here. So right now we got ourselves Tailor, which is great for making clothes. Clothes help your settlers stay warmer in the winter, so when they're out doing like long tasks, it's better to keep them as warm as possible. And also, coats are great trading materials. Those and tools are at least my ticket in terms of getting seeds, getting livestock, getting those other food sources that you need to really help expand your city. Then also one little building project we have right now is the town hall. Town hall's great in terms of helping you accept nomads, and it also is just good to kind of like see like the graphs and see stocks of where your food's at, what kind of resources you're at. But it does take a lot of resources. We're looking at a lot of logs here, a lot of stone, a lot of iron, to really get this thing up and going. So let's see if we can gather a few more stone to help out our people with this building project. We can get plenty of stone over here. Put another forester. I usually try to pair up every little gatherer and hunting cabin with a forester hut, just because it's a really good way of kind of getting all the base essentials that you need to have an efficient system of getting wood for fire, wood for fire logs, wood for building materials, then also getting the meat for the hunting and the leather for your clothes, and then also the roots and the berries and all that jazz, all that good stuff for not only food, but then also if you want to make a distillery, you can use the berries to make booze, and we all know how we like our booze. So yeah, that's what we have going on for ourselves right now. Let's keep moving on with the day, see what's good in the town of Senoir. So we can see we're already in our 10th year. The years go by really quick, especially when you speed up time, which it's almost a necessity. It's just the game moves far too slow otherwise. I try to pace my town hall. I don't like to go all in right away because it is such a burden on your resources. It is so taxing on other building developments you may be looking to do. So we're gonna put it on pause right now and put up a few more houses. We're kind of at a good mark with resources. At least I feel pretty comfortable with how big our town is, or really how small it is, and where we're at over 1,000. So, and with just barely over 40 families, that's pretty good, at least in my book. You can play more conservative and look at the long run, see what's going on, because how population works, if I don't think I explained in the first video, is that you put up a new house, a guy and girl get paired together. It's pretty random with that, and then if they're young enough, they'll start having kids. So you kind of wonder how the gene pool stays as healthy as it does when you have these towns of hundreds of people. We're talking about rich, colorful family lines of probably aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins, kind of shacking up with one another. Do we ask any questions? No, because that's none of our business. But you know, it leaves the player to wonder. So we'll keep these going. They're gonna go up pretty quick especially once we get our stone, which we always seem to be in short supply of. We'll get that going for ourselves, and we'll have a few more houses up, a few more villagers moving in, making kids, helping grow the population, making their contributions to society, and that's the ticket to growth, is always making sure you want to have houses available or in the making for settlers to move into. Now that comes with the caveat that you don't want to overexpand, obviously, because you will run out of food. But you also want to make sure that you do have a steady growth. Like, you want to have a steady growth of houses along with your food, because if you don't grow your civilization numbers wise, you're going to have an elderly population, and when you have an older population, what happens is you still have those elders who take up houses and aren't making kids, and it stagnates your growth. And when it stagnates your growth, you start running out of workers real quick, and your entire town can almost die out of old age, or will be very hurt by your lack of growth. That's kind of the double-edged sword about Banished, is you don't want to grow too fast, but you want to grow just enough to keep yourself ahead of the curve of not having your population outage itself. So, got our first little house up. These guys will be coming along soon enough. Do we have the forester hut over here? No. Once you put down a few forester huts, then the wood just comes piling in. Like, after, like, I would say, like, I don't know, three or four forester huts, you will just have so much wood you won't even know what to do with it. You'll have more wood that you can shake a stick at. Waka waka, corny joke. I'm trying to think of where we want our next little gather hunter hut to be. This isn't an amazingly ideal map, unfortunately. We're nestled right here. Like, I feel like we're definitely gonna be growing out into here, our town. Maybe right here. I don't know. I think this might be a good spot for us. So that we can, obviously we can already see some wildlife, and I don't think this is a natural barrier to keep them moving. I don't think we have to put a tunnel. So that will be good. That will probably be our next point of interest in terms of growing out, and maybe we can see. It's not even looking that much better over here. We have to it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of spots for potential. Like, once we get really big, if we get really big, quote unquote. But right now we're kind of almost mountain locked, I guess would be the right word. We don't have a whole lot of land to play with, because a lot of these mountains or hills are really inhibiting our growth in that sense. So I guess we'll just keep rolling with it. But we got a few more houses, assuming these builders get their rear end gear. Yeah, let's increase that. Yeah, why not? We have plenty of builders. Why not? One thing in my time playing this, though, was a little bit tragic, was we did have a little bit of a setback. A few people did die of starvation, unfortunately, in the town of Senoir. But that's the one thing I've learned about Banished, is you're not always going to have a perfect run, but you also should be ready to know that your town is ready and willing to bounce back with whatever gets thrown at them. They're not going to fall in shambles if 10 people die due to starvation. Everyone else is willing to pick up right where they left off, and I think that's also a really cool aspect of the game, is that there is there is almost an inherent desire to live by everyone. It's not a completely hopeless situation. So I think that's pretty cool. You can take it for what it is, because I usually like to have as much of a perfect run as possible, where there's no mass starvations, there's no mass freezings, people aren't dying from diseases a whole lot, but all those are basically almost uncontrollable in the game of Banished. You can kind of mitigate disease happening to you by refusing nomads, but sometimes you just gotta risk it with the nomads. They are a great little boost. They can be a great little boost to your population and to your productivity, assuming you need it. As I know we talked about in the episode before, don't just take nomads willingly. You have to be a little bit conservative with what they're offering in terms of numbers and what you think your economy can hold, or your civilization can hold. Because if it's going to be too big of a shock, that's easily how you wreck you got to wreck yourself before you check yourself. You understand? You dig it? So just proceed with caution with taking nomads, because a lot of bad stuff can happen. Alright, but here we are. Now it's year 2 or year 12. Got our little houses up. Alright, we're gonna see if we can give another final big push to getting this town hall resurrected, or not resurrected, but constructed. Maybe that's better. Another thing you're going to want to do, which maybe you probably actually want to do before doing the town hall. I don't know why I'm doing the town hall first. It's usually one of the last things I do. But you are definitely going to want to put up a trade post. Trade posts are really the one way that you can branch out to the outside and grow a lot as a town, in terms of getting new food resources. You can get farm animals to just shepherd around, I guess you could say, to harvest. It goes the same with seeds. You can plant orchards. You can just plant fields. You can do a lot of great stuff. It's just that with those more complicated food resources, it comes at the toll of not only needing more workers, but also a higher attrition on your tools. We've had a lot of civilizations fail because they start running out of tools real quick after making too many farmlands, too many pastures, and so it can all add up real quick, and it can make a pretty scary situation, because once you run out of tools, your productivity will just tank. It just down the tubes it goes, and so that will just lead to a whole host of other problems, and so you have to be careful with that. If you're gonna go with farms, if you're gonna start making orchards, you gotta do it very carefully. Don't just supplement. Like my biggest problems when I first started out playing this game was that I supplemented most of my food with farming, and while I'm sure that's why a lot of our ancestors did it, that's not how Banished is played. Unless you have just a lot of high grade tools. You can make steel tools with coal, iron, and logs. Or you just have a great iron tool production system. It's gonna go downhill real quick, because to make steel tools you need to get them out of mines, and it's not easy. It takes a considerable amount of effort and some focus to get coal. Like, I would almost just say you're better off trading for it rather than making it yourself. Especially if you're playing like just in the unmodded version of Banished. There can be a couple problems with gathering coal, with iron and all that. So we finally have all the resources in place for our town hall. It's gonna go up very shortly. I guess we'll start. I don't know, we already have it. Alright, and getting there with the trading post, but we, of course, just totally zapped our resources. We're just gonna, that whole thing is gonna go. It's gotta go. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you can look at your production, you can see the limits, you can set the limits on what you kind of want to see made, what your current is, what your use, how much you produced, used last year. It's a really good way to look at like the statistics of your town and give you a better idea of planning to move farther on. Nomads, I'm not sure if it got changed yet, but at least to get nomads originally, you needed to have a trading post, a town hall, and a market. We'll make a market later on. A market. We might make a market later on. It's good for transporting resources to your parts of town that are farther away from actual barns, but it's obviously, we're right here. This is where our main production of food's coming from, and I guess there too. We could do it soon, and I intend on it. It's just that right now it's not incredibly important to our survival. And we're getting pretty close with this. You know, just some more iron and stone. Yeah, and the villagers are already on their way. Chopping down the good forest in the name of Senoir. That's nothing of incredible magicalness, I guess you could say, for the village of Senoir right now. I mean, at the beginning I might show yeah, nothing too crazy in the way of Senoir this episode. You know, it wasn't a heck of a lot of growth. You know, we're still only at close to 60 kids, close to 60 people. I guess we definitely have the budget to make more. I don't know. It can all add up real quick, and that's my only fear, is that, you know, we make a few more houses here and then suddenly people start going hungry because we don't quite have jobs for everyone yet in ways that they can really benefit our society. But we'll see. I'll definitely come out with a video next week as well, showing hopefully we'll get some seeds. I would love to show you guys you know, some seeds and some farming, and then we'll also make sure that we have a much better infrastructure. I'll try to blow up the economy, have it balloon a little bit more. So I might play a little bit more offline to really get Senoir underway, just as I did before. Maybe I'll try to capture anything important that happens, but just want to say thank you guys very much for watching. This is Lastbrohican, and you gamers, take it easy.